So last time, just to remind you of what we did last time, this is what we did last time, right? So last time we studied the combination, right? The combination of words. And we say that when we combine words, right? When we combine several words together, like 1, 2, 3, 4, doesn't matter how many words you have, but if we combine words together, we can create a phrase, right? We can create a phrase. So a phrase is a combination of at least 2 or more words, right? And then if we combine phrases together, doesn't matter how many, if we combine phrases together, we can make up a clause or we can make up a sentence, right? And if you wonder about the difference between a clause and a sentence, if you combine 2 or more clauses together, you can create a sentence. So a sentence is bigger than a clause, okay? So, for example, if we combine big and cat, we get big cat, okay, big cat. But we are not done yet because we have to put an article or a determiner in front of that phrase, right? Half phrase, because it's not the whole phrase yet. So we put the, okay? We put the after we get the word big cat. So we get the big cat, which is a full phrase now, okay? So the big cat in the big cat scared the dog here, the big cat is a noun phrase, for example, okay? So last time we talked about some tests, right? Some tests that would help us determine, or some tests that would help us identify whether a chunk of words is a constituent or is a phrase or not, right? So in this case, the big cat, if we underline only big cat in the big cat scared the dog, if we only underline the big cat, if we only underline big cat, it's not a phrase yet, right? Because based on this sentence, you need the word the, right? If we underline only big cat, it's just part of the whole phrase, okay? Part of the whole noun phrase, the big cat, because we need the word the, okay? So you can do a test, like you can substitute it with a pronoun if it's a noun phrase. Remember, we can test whether it's a phrase or it's a constituent by putting a pronoun there. So you can put a pronoun, let's say it. The it scared the dog, right? It doesn't work, right? So just big cat is not a phrase. So we have to underline the, right? And then after we do that, we can do the substitution. We can say it scared the dog. It works, right? So in this case, the big cat is one constituent. Just big cat is part of the constituent, not the whole constituent, not the whole phrase. So that's what we practiced last time. How to identify whether some words belong together or not, some words stick together or not, okay? That's what we did last time. So we use substitution tests to help us, okay? Now let's move on to phrase structure rules. So this is from the PowerPoint file from last time, okay? Now we know how to identify phrases. Now there are 2 things that you need to know. In a phrase, there must be, in a particular phrase, there must be one head word, okay? Head, here. So the head word is the most important word. The head word is the most important word in a phrase, okay? And you can name a phrase by looking at the head. If the head is a noun, you know how to identify nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs, and so on, right? So if the phrase has a noun as a head, we call it a noun phrase. And I use the word NP, right? So if the phrase has a noun as a head, as the most important word, then it's a noun phrase. If the phrase has a verb as the head or as the most important word, we call it a verb phrase. If the preposition is the most important word, then we call it a prepositional phrase. And if an adjective or an adverb is the head, then we call it an adjective phrase or an adverb phrase, or AP, okay? I don't have that on here, but you can add. If an adjective or an adverb is the head, then we call it an adverb phrase or an adjective phrase, or AP. Okay. Now, let's look at the structure of each type. Now, we're talking about adjective phrases and adverb phrases. We just call them AP. Okay? A could stand for adjective or adverb. As in, he is happy. I only underline happy, so we'll focus on just happy here. Happy, you know, is an adjective, right? Because we can say a happy boy, a happy person, like that. So happy is an adjective. Okay? But you can also have an extended adjective phrase by having the word very here. Very only modifies happy in terms of degree, right? That it is a lot, right? So very here is what we call a degree word, right? But the head word is still the adjective because it's the most important word. Without very, the meaning is still good, right? He is happy. But when we have very, it intensifies the degree of happiness. Now, the structure is like this. This adjective phrase consists of, the arrow means consists of, a degree word and the adjective, which is the head word. So that's the structure, right? And the degree word could be any word. Very, so, rather, fairly, anything. Okay? Extremely could be anything that would modify that adjective. So it seems that the underlying structure of an adjective phrase is like this: degree and adjective. And I have the degree word here in the parentheses because it's optional. It's not required. Okay? But you need an adjective. You need a head, right? Because without a head, then it's not a phrase. Or in this case, he runs fast. You can underline fast. And then he ate very happily. You can underline very happily. If you look at the structure, still the AP, in this case, the adverb phrase, because you see the word li, right, the morpheme li, and also fast could be an adjective, adverb. And so we have the degree word very and the adverb. So it seems that both adjective and adverb phrases have the same structure, or they share the same structure, which is AP consists of, which is the arrow, a degree word, and an adjective or an adverb, depending on what you have. Okay? They share the same structure. So we got the first rule here. AP goes to, or AP consists of a degree word and an adjective or an adverb. Okay? That's for the AP. So the first rule. Now the second type of phrase is what we call a prepositional phrase. Prepositional phrase consists of course, the preposition as the head, right? The head is the most important thing. So you must have a preposition like to, at, of, whatever. And you could have a degree word as well, but it's not required, right? Right at 10 p.m., for example. Almost off the bridge. So you may have a noun phrase here. Okay? We call it a noun phrase because this is a phrase rather than just a word, right? But you can see that the most important thing is it must have a head. Okay? And it could have a degree word or not. And it can have a noun phrase. Okay? So it seems that the structure is like this. PP, which is a prepositional phrase, consists of a degree word, the P, which is the head, and then the NP. Okay. Now, next type, we have the noun phrase. The noun phrase consists of course, the head word, which is, the name is noun phrase, so the head word must be a noun. So you have the head word here, right? John, guys, book, picture, or friends. Okay? But a noun phrase can have other things in it. For example, you can have a determiner, you can have an adjective, you can have a prepositional phrase afterwards. Okay? Like John, just one word, is a noun phrase because you have the head word, which is a noun. And you can have other things. So these are the slots that are available to be filled. But it's just that these slots are not filled. But still, John is a noun phrase. Okay? and we have those three guys from a small town. You see that the word guys is the main word here, right? Everything is about the guys. And then you have number, you have determiner, and you have one prepositional phrase afterwards, right? But that prepositional phrase, you already know the structure of it, right? The prepositional phrase, if you look at the slide before, consists of one preposition and another noun phrase like that, okay? And the book about big cats, we have the book as the head noun, we have the determiner here, and then we have another prepositional phrase inside the noun phrase here. And you know the structure of the prepositional phrase already, which consists of a preposition and a noun phrase, right? If you look at the slide before, it's the same thing, right? So this is the prepositional phrase that we already studied. And then within that prepositional phrase, we have a noun phrase that we are studying now. And a noun phrase has the same structure, a determiner, an adjective, and the head noun. So it seems that all the rules that we have studied up to this point recur, right? People, when they build phrases, they reapply the rules, right? And these are all the same rules. Like the rule of noun phrase is here. You have determiner, adjective, and the head noun. The rule of noun phrase is also here. Determiner, adjective, and noun. You have a prepositional phrase, and the prepositional phrase consists of a preposition and a noun phrase. Same thing, right? So the same rules are reapplied over and over again, okay? So the structure of a noun phrase seems to be like this: a determiner, an adjective phrase, the N, and the PP. And all of these things are optional except for the N, the head noun, right? And if you ask me, what is the structure of the AP? We already know, right? AP goes to degree word and then A, right? And then the PP goes to P and then P and NP, like that. Degree word, P and NP, like that. Finally, we'll look at this one as the last rule, which is the rule of verb phrases. For verb phrases, you must have a verb, right? You must have at least one verb, which is the head word. So they are all here, okay? And we have other things that are optional. We may have an NP. We may have a prepositional phrase. We may have an adverb phrase or an adjective phrase, right? But these are all optional. As you can see, we can just say he falls, right? He falls down, like that. Then there needs not be an NP or a PP, right? Or you can have one adverb phrase in there. He falls accidentally, like that, okay? We'll tell everyone about the secret soon. Soon is the AP here. In this case, every slot is filled. Every slot has been filled, right? And then like sitting under the sun without the AP, or bought the book with a credit card yesterday. So every slot has been filled in this case. But what is the most important thing here is the verb, right, which is the head word. And other things are optional, but they can be there, okay? So it seems that the structure of the verb phrase is you must have a V. You must have a verb, right? And you can have other things, NP, PP, or an AP, okay? So could be like this, right? Or if I want to save the space, right? NP, PP, or AP, I just say VP consists of V, which is here, and XP. XP meaning X could be anything. Could be an NP, could be a PP, could be an AP. So this is like a shorthand symbol for me. Right? So to sum up, we have, maybe I missed one rule here, and then AP, right? AP, just add AP, consists of degree word, and then A, like that. There could be a degree word here too. Okay. So it seems that all phrases look more or less alike because you may have something before the head word. Degree word, degree word. Determiner is a kind of a degree word. And here, for a verb phrase, you can have a degree word, which is like an adverb phrase here. But adverb phrase, for verb phrases, they can be anywhere. Okay? You can have it in the front or you can have it in the back. So it seems that every phrase share some characteristics. Okay? For example, they can have degree words, but it's different as to what type of degree word you have, right? For noun phrases, the degree word is a determiner, like that. Okay? And you must have the head word, N, V, P, A. Pro here is a pronoun. Okay? And you can have something after it. Okay? So I can say that, I can add here that whatever phrase you have, XP, XP could be N, V, P, or A. XP can consist of a degree word, and just keep in mind that a degree word could be an adverb, could be adverb like this, could be a determiner, or could be just a degree word, okay? Depending on what type of degree word you have, but you can have one, right? And then you can have the head word, just X. X is the head word, right? Just like AP, the head word is A. PP, the head word is P. VP, the head word is V. NP, the head word is N, or pronoun, same thing, okay? And then you can have something else after it, like PP, AP, NP. So we can just say XP. You can have another phrase after it, like that. So perhaps this is the rule, the only rule that underlines every type of phrase. XP goes to degree word, the head, and then another phrase, which could be a noun phrase, an AP, or a PP. Okay? In fact, you might ask, what if and why we don't have anything after the A here, right? We can have like, but it's not often, it's not common, like fond of cats. I'm fond of meaning I like cats. I'm fond of cats, like that. I'm happy with you, right? So in fact, for adjective or adverb phrases, you can have PP, but it's just not often. Like, I am happy for you. I'm happy with you, like that. Okay? I'm fond of chocolate, like that. Okay? So this is the kind of ultimate rule that we can derive. Okay? XP, any type of phrase, NP, VP, PP, or AP, consists of a degree word. A degree word could be anything like an adverb, a determiner, or just a degree word, and then the head word, and then another type of phrase. And then we can just keep applying the XP rule here, right? The XP rule here will consist of a degree word, X and XP again, just like that. So this is how we build sentences, we build phrases out of just, in fact, one rule. Out of just, in fact, one rule. One rule is XP goes to degree X and XP. That's just one rule. And it just depends on what the head word is, okay? And we keep filling in the slot, okay? And this is what syntacticians, or this is what, in fact, Chomsky, Noam Chomsky claims that we are born with. He claims that we are born with this XP rule within our head, meaning that this is our knowledge of language that everyone is born with. Doesn't matter if you're Korean, doesn't matter if you are English speakers, you have this rule in your head. And if Korean structure is different from English structure, is because we have different way of arranging the relationship. In Korean, the XP might be to the left of X, for example, right? That's why in Korean, the object is before the verb, like that. So in Korean, the NP here is before the verb. It's just different way of arranging all the elements. But we are born with the XP. And this is, if you want to go further in linguistics, this is what he claims to be the universal grammar. Universal meaning the grammar that all of us human beings have. Okay? The ultimate goal of syntax is to figure out what we are born with, what type of structure we are born with. That's why everyone can learn any language. Okay? If Korean people are born in the US, then they can acquire English easily. That's because we all have the XP structure. It's just a different way of setting the different elements here. If you want to go further, this is called the X-bar theory. Okay? And then I want to add one more rule, which is S consists of an NP and VP, meaning a sentence must consist of one VP and one NP. Okay? And if you want to know what NP looks like, just applying all these rules. Okay. So that's it for this part of syntax that you should be responsible for the midterm exam. Okay? So you should be able to recognize the structure of different types of phrases, like the structure of NP, VP, PP, and so on. Okay? And now I will just distribute the study guide for the midterm. It's the same study guide that I sent out by email yesterday. So if you have printed out, that's fine. If you haven't, then I have some copies with me. So does anyone need a copy of the study guide? So we'll work on this study guide today and see if you have questions or if you experience difficulty in doing this. So your midterm will look like this, okay? But with the same type of questions on the exam. So it will consist of perhaps 7 or 8 types of questions if you follow along the handout, okay? In the first type of question, I'll give you a group of sounds. So we started out the class with phonetics, right? So for the first thing, I will give you a group of sound, okay? A group of sounds, and what you should do is to name the characteristic that that group shares, okay? So you should know for let's see, for this part, I'll write out. For this part, you should know descriptions, right? So for consonants, you should know place of articulation, where in the mouth is the sound made, right? Is it made in the bilabial region, in the bilabial area? Is it labiodental? Is it interdental? So all those things, okay? And then the manner. Remember the manner? Remember, the manner is like stop, fricative, affricate, nasal, right? All these terms. Stop, fricative, nasal, affricate, and so on. Okay? And place include like bilabial, interdental, like that, and etc. And then voicing. Remember, is it voice or voiceless? So all these are descriptors for consonant sounds. I'm trying to adjust the camera to make it focus. See here. And what else? For vowels, let me use this color. So for vowels, you need the height of the tongue, meaning high, mid, low. And the part of the tongue, front, central, and back, right? And then tense or lack. Lacks. Tense or lacks. So you should be able to label, okay, the height, the part, and then the tenseness or lackness of the tongue. So if you are able to do all this, then for the first part, you should be able to do it. Okay. So for the first part, I will give you a set of sounds, and then you have to tell me what features, okay, what features they share. Like, are they all bilabial? Are they all fricative, like that? Are they all mid vowels, or are they all front vowels, like that? Okay. So that's the first part. The second part is straightforward. So I give you a set of words, and you have to transcribe. I give you a set of words that you have to transcribe. So typically, I will choose from the words that we study in class or the words that we did in the homework. So you should be able to transcribe those words without any problems. So just do a review of your homework, and I sent out the answer key to homework 1 and 2 by email yesterday already. So study that, and then you should be able to do that part. And the third part, I'll give you some incomplete diagrams, and you have to complete the diagrams, right, by indicating the place of articulation for certain sounds. So you should be able to complete the diagram by drawing the contact point between the tongue and other organs in the mouth, like that. So that's the third part, okay? And we did this in the homework, so you should have no problem. And the next part is what we call the reverse of transcription. I give you the transcription, but you should be able to write out the English pronunciation, right? Should be able to write out the English sentences, right, in normal spelling. So you should be able to do that, the reverse of transcription. And then that's for the phonetics chapter. The next part is from the phonology chapter, where you should be able to syllabify, right, to draw syllable trees. And remember that when we draw syllable trees, the nucleus is the most important thing, right? We have to identify the nucleus first, and then look to the left of that nucleus and see if you can pull that consonant or group of consonants as the onset of the nucleus or not, right? If you cannot, then part of that consonant cluster will be the coda of the preceding syllable, like that. I'll show you how to do this when we get to this point. And then phonology also, for the next part, you have to be able to identify the phonological processes of sound changes. Like when two consonants meet, some consonant will become like another consonant, right? So that's what we call assimilation. So you should be able to transcribe the phonological changes that happen in these examples. That's for the phonology chapter. The next section, the G section on the second page, write down the allomorphs of the past tense or plural or possessive morpheme. This is for morphology, right? And remember, when it comes to past tense, we have 3 allomorphs. D, right? I love D, T, and it or ut, for example, right? Past tense allomorph. So past tense, we have, remember, the ed. In writing, we use the ed, right? But in pronunciation, we have the d ending, the t ending, and the ending, right? Oh, I'm sorry, this is the schwa, like that. So the d is when the preceding sound is voice. and then you have the D. The T is when the preceding sound is voiceless, and the is when the preceding sound is a T or a D. So wanted, like that, okay? And you have voiceless when the preceding sound is, I'm sorry, you have a T when the preceding sound is a voiceless sound, like that. For plural or possessive, we have the same thing. Plural or possessive allomorphs. We have s, z, c, and is or us. Okay. If the preceding sound is voiceless, then you have an s. If the preceding sound is voiced, you have a z. If the preceding sound is, remember, a sibilant sound. Sibilant sounds are mostly fricative sounds and also affricate sounds, right? Sounds like s, z, sh, zh, like that, okay? Like church, churches, garage, garages, like that. So you should be able to do this part without any difficulty if you can understand. I would use the word understand, not memorize. If you understand these allomorphic rules, you should be able to do this part without any difficulty. Okay? In fact, you don't have to memorize anything because this is common sense, meaning all of these are what we call assimilation processes, right? So if the first sound, this preceding sound is voice, then it has to be a D because D is a voice sound. If the preceding sound is a voiceless sound, then it has to be a T because T is voiceless. And then you have the here because you insert a schwa because it's hard to pronounce, right? When a T and a D is followed by another D, it's hard to pronounce, so you insert a schwa. So all of these are phonological processes that we already studied, okay? Here too, you have two assimilation processes here, right? S or Z, depending on whether the preceding sound is voice or voiceless. And here you insert a schwa, right? So that's for the morphology part. And when we study morphology, we also talk about some morphological processes, right? Like compounding, affixing, name branding, or eponym, or blending, and so on. So I might ask you to identify the processes, or I might ask you to give some examples of those processes, okay? Some example words as a result of those processes. And then finally, I might have some multiple choice questions that would test you the knowledge of how to parse words into morphemes, and you will have to select the correct answer choices, okay? And the last part, which is on the last page, is the syntax part. So I'll ask you to identify word type. Is it a verb? Is it a noun? And so on, okay? That's what we already studied last time. So for today, we will, let's see. We'll try to do A and, let's see, A and the multiple choices question, okay? So let's see, because these are, I think, the most difficult parts. And then if we have time, we'll do the rest. So I'll give you about perhaps 10 minutes for now, 10 minutes to do A, and 10 minutes to do the multiple choice part, okay? And we'll go over this before the break. Okay, and then when we come back from the break, we'll do the rest. Okay, so now look at part A and then try to finish part A and part J, multiple choice questions. Okay. So I'll try to fix this thing. Let's see. So for example, let me give you an example. Number 1, we have E, I, U, O, right? And they are all vowels. So we have to think about the height of the tongue and the part of the tongue, right? And then the tenseness or laxness. So what do they share? They are all high vowels, right? So I think that's one thing that they share. They are all high vowels. So you write high, and then do they share anything else? No, right? Because you have a mix of tense and lax, and you have a mix of front and back. So they only share one thing, which is the height of the tongue. They are all high vowels like that. So you write down high like that. Are you done with the first part, number A? Should be, right? You should be done with that because this part is not that difficult. Number two, E, I, A, A. They are all front vowels, right? So you write down front, right? And they are of different levels of height, right? So they don't share that. And so you put down the word front like that, okay? They are all front. Number 3, P, B, M, W. P, B, M, W, right? When you pronounce these sounds, you use 2 lips, right? So they are all bilabial, right? So bilabial, like that. And then anything else? P is voiceless, B is voice, so they don't share. And P is stop, B is stop, M is a nasal, W is a glide, so they don't share the manner. So just only the bilabial, the place, right? They share the place, the bilabial place. Number 4, V, V, Z, Z. They are all voice sounds, right? They are all voice sounds. So we put down the word voiced. And when you produce these sounds, there's friction in the air, right? V, V, Z, like that. So they are all fricative sounds. And the place of articulation is different, right? For at least for V and the cross D here. V is labiodental, the cross D is interdental, so they are not the same. So only the voicing and the manner. Number 5, P, T, K, S. At least for the place of articulation, they don't share. P is bilabial, P, T, T. They don't share the same place. Now, the manner, P stop, T stop, K stop, but S, there's friction, it's fricative. So they don't share the place. Now the last thing is they share the voicing, right? They are all voiceless. So we can say voiceless like that, okay? So this is how we would tackle this part. So I'll give you perhaps 5 minutes to do the multiple choice questions, okay? Part J, part J. The reason that I skip between parts is that we don't have enough time to finish. I don't think we have enough time to finish all the questions here. It would be ideal if we have enough time, but then part 1 and part J, are the most important part, right? Part 1 is easiest, and then part J, you might need time to think because there are several choices to choose from. So I need to explain this part. That's why I skip between parts. I'll give you perhaps 5 to 7 minutes to finish this part, okay? Part J. For number 2, minimal pair. You guys know minimal pair, right? A minimal pair is a set of words that differ in only one thing, that differ only in one respect, okay? So, for example, the word so and show, this is a minimal pair because there's only one difference between the two, which is the S sound s and sh, right? Everything else is the same in terms of pronunciation, okay? Not the spelling. S, so, the S sound. Sh, show, the hook sound. The vowel is the same, right? So everything else is the same, but with one difference only. So a minimal pair is a pair of words that differ in only one aspect, in only one thing. Everything else is the same. Or sin and sing. This is also a minimal pair. Sin and sing. Because the only difference is the last sound, right? The last sound is, this is an alveolar sound, n, sin. But this, the last sound is n with a tail, sing, right? So there's only one difference between the two. So it's a minimal pair, okay? Okay, let's look at part J, okay, together. Number 1, mark the statements that hold true for allophones and phonemes, okay? Number 1, let's look at statement 1. It's possible to predict where allophones occur. Is it true or not? Remember, phonemes are significant sounds, meaning that phonemes can indicate contrast in meaning, right? And you cannot predict where a phoneme can occur because a phoneme can occur anywhere, right? But for allophones, you can predict. Remember, allophones are like Clark Kent or Superman. Remember, we should be able to tell where each allophone occurs, right? Because an allophone doesn't occur in the same place as another allophone of the same phoneme, okay? A phoneme consists of many allophones, right? So allophones are real sounds that people produce in reality when they actually produce some sounds, okay? But a phoneme is just like an abstract concept, right, that people have in their head, okay? So, for example, the phoneme T, remember the phoneme T, t has the aspirated allophone t, like that, or t after an S, okay? So an allophone is the actual pronunciation of that phoneme, okay? And in different environments, in different positions, a phoneme is produced, is realized in different variants, in different allophones, okay? So in number 1, it's possible to predict where allophones occur? Yes, right? So this is correct because you can tell where you'll find an aspirated P, where you'll find an unaspirated P, for example, okay? So number 1 is correct. Number 2, allophones can create contrast in meaning or not? No, right? This is wrong because phonemes, only phonemes can create contrast in meaning, and allophones are not significant unit of sounds, just variants of the same phoneme, okay? So allophones cannot create contrast in meaning. So 2 is false. Number 3, allophones are variants of the same phoneme. That's correct, right? So 3 is correct. And then number 4, phonemes and allophones are universal across languages. That's wrong, right? Because phonemes and allophones are language specific. So what is a phoneme? what counts as a phoneme in Korean is not what counts as a phoneme in English, for example. So 4 is wrong. So only 1 and 3 are correct. So number C is correct. Okay? So in this case, number C is correct. Okay? Number 2, question 2. Which of the following word pairs is a minimal pair? So again, a minimal pair is a pair of words that is different only in one respect, only in one thing, right? We use the minimal pair to test a phoneme, right? To test whether a sound is a phoneme or not, right? So this is the pronunciation, okay? This pronunciation of A, B, C, and D. So in A, we have bin and bean, right? Only one difference, the medial position, right? I or E. So that's a minimal pair because you have only one difference, which is the medial sound. Number 2, you have 2 differences, the A and the O and D here and without the D there. So you have more than one. That's not a minimal pair. Number C, so and so, there's no difference, right? So same thing. And number D, right and right, same thing again, no difference. So number A is correct. Okay? And in number A, we know by comparing this pair that I and E are different phonemes of English, right? Because by substituting one phoneme with another phoneme, the meaning changes. So that's how we test phonemes, okay? So A is correct. Number 3, let's look at number 3. Consider the following words, and I think this part tests you the knowledge of morpheme, right? How to recognize morpheme boundaries and so on. Now in number 1, warmth, we can put the boundary here, right? Warm and TH. Right? The word, the morpheme TH tells you that it's a noun, right? So TH here is a nominal suffix, okay? Second word, fifth, so it's 5 and TH. So this TH here is like the order, right? First, second, third, fourth, fifth. So the order morpheme and the nominal morpheme are not the same, okay? The third word, friendship, we have 2, friends and then ship. Ship is the nominal morpheme, right? The state of being friend, like that. So 2 morphemes. Next word, transport. We have trans, which is across. Port is like a door or to carry. So 2 morphemes. And then last one, we have model. We have mort and all. Mort is die or death, right? And then all is adjective suffix. So let's look at the statements here. All the words above have 2 morphemes. Is that correct? Yes. So A, 1 is correct. Okay. All the words here have 2 morphemes. Number 2, warmth and fifth have the same suffix morpheme, which is TH. This is wrong because even though it looks alike, the TH looks alike, but the reason is TH in warm is a nominal suffix and TH in fifth is not a nominal suffix. So this is not correct. So again, a morpheme depends on the meaning, right? And if two morphemes look alike, but they don't share the same meaning, they're not the same morpheme. They are different morphemes. So 2 is wrong, okay? Number 3, warmth shows a derivational morpheme. Yes, right? We have derivational morphemes and also inflectional morphemes. We have only 8 types of inflectional morphemes, right? And they do grammatical functions. Tense, comparison of adjectives, or plural, right? And past tense and present tense. So warmth here is just a nominal morpheme, so it's a derivational morpheme. So 3 is right, 1 is right, 2 is wrong. Number 4, there's no free morpheme in transport. A free morpheme can stand alone as a word, right? So trans cannot, right? At least not in that meaning. A port can stand alone, right? This is a port, like that. Like Busan is a big port, right? Port city, like that. So 4 is correct. So 1, 3, and 4. So number C in this case is correct. Number first one is bin and bin, right? Let's look at number 4 and 5 before we take a break. Number 4, whether or not a speech sound is nasal depends upon number B, the velum or uvula, right? This is around the back of your throat, right? I'll write this out here. That when you raise, when that part is raised, so this is like this, right? This is our tongue, and this is the part. So this is the velum part. This is the uvula, right? And when this part is raised, so this is the throat, this part is raised, it will block the air from going through the nose when it's raised against the back of the throat. But when that part is lowered, right, when that part is lowered, so you have like this, so the air can travel and come out through the nose. Okay, so that part is the uvula or the velum part, because the two things are connected. Okay, the trachea, that's the windpipe. The epiglottis, that's above the glottis, meaning that's above the vocal cords. So it has to do with the vocal cords vibration. So this is not it. And the vocal cords has to do with vibration, right? Voice or voiceless sound. So only number B is correct. Number 5. Let's look at number 5 and we'll take a break and we'll come back. Number 5, which of the following sets show only compound words, right? For compound words, you just stick two words together and you have got a new word, right? Quicksand is good. Bookworm is good. Intercom, not good, because com is clipped, right? It's clipped. So we have just only 2 compounds here. Number B, sunburn is good. News and paper is good. Smog is not good because that's clipping, right? Or that's blending, I'm sorry. We have smoke and fog, so that's not good. Number C, monogamy, mono, and gamy is not like 2 free compounds. So gamy is to marry, and then mono is 1, right? Lab is from laboratory. Van is from caravan, from clipping. So C is not good. Number D, blackboard, killjoy, window shopping. That's good, right? Because we have black plus board, kill plus joy, someone who's boring. And window shopping, that's good, also compound. So D is correct. So we will take a 10-minute break and we'll come back and finish this off and then finish this up, and we'll do number E as the next one, okay? So if you are done with the multiple choice part, do number E, okay? Thanks for reminding me of this one. Number 4, there is no free morpheme. There is, right? We said that there is one free morpheme. This is in question 3. There's one free morpheme, right, in transport, which is port, right? So number 4 is wrong, right, because there's one free morpheme. So only 1 and 3 are correct. So let me back up and then say that 1, number A, is correct, okay? Because there's a free morpheme here, but it says there's no free morpheme, so it's wrong, okay? Okay, quickly moving to number 6. In insecure and intransitive, right? We have two ins here. Insecure and intransitive. Both ins mean not, right? Means not. So we have same morpheme, okay? Number D, same morpheme, okay? And they are pronounced the same, insecure, insensitive, right? Because the following sound is S. And S is an alveolar sound, just like an N. So there's no allomorph there, okay? So we have number D, same morpheme here, okay? Number 7, which of the following set of words displays the same allophones of T, aspirated or unaspirated? Number A, exportable, right? X, so we have K and S here, okay? So P here is unaspirated, right? Number, the second word, stingy, T is also unaspirated because it's after an S. And the third one, stigmatized, T is also unaspirated. So A is correct, right? Because P, T, and T here, they are all unaspirated, okay? Number B is not correct because P here, part, and then T, stop. P here is aspirated, but T is unaspirated after an S. So B is not correct. Number C, until, pretend, star. Both T's are aspirated because they are in stressed syllables, right? Until, pretend. So both T's are aspirated, but T here is not aspirated because it's after an S. So C is not correct. Okay. Number D, extreme. This is after an S sound. X is KS, right? So extreme. So this is unaspirated. Strip, unaspirated. And retreat, aspirated because it's in a stressed syllable. So A is correct. Number 8. Okay, quickly moving to 8. Which of the following statements is or are correct? A, inflectional suffixes can change the part of speech of a word. It cannot, right? Because an inflectional suffix only does grammatical function, right? So only derivational suffixes. Number B, in warmer is an inflectional suffix. Yes, because it's an adjective suffix. So B is correct. A is not correct. Number C, derivational suffixes always come last in a word. Not correct. Inflectional, right? An inflectional suffix does. C is not correct. Number D, some inflectional suffixes can be free, cannot, right? All inflectional suffixes are bound, okay? So only B is correct, so 3 only. Number 9, which of the following sets exhibits the same underlined morpheme across the board? In number 1, I think I underlined feet, right? So we have the word foot and E, which is the plural morpheme. So there is foot and the plural morpheme, okay? Children, child plus the plural morpheme. Syllabi, from the word syllabus, the I here is the plural morpheme. So A is correct. At least A is correct because we have 2 morphemes in each word. Feet comes from foot and plural. Children from child and plural. Syllabi from syllabus plus I, right? So at least we have a plural morpheme across the board, okay? Number B, even though the allomorphs might be different, right? E, N, I, that's allomorph, but the morpheme, the plural morpheme is the same. Number B, diagonal, we have all, which is adjective, right? Approval, noun. Governmental, adjective. Natural, adjective. So approval is not correct. It's the odd one out. So B is not correct because diagonal, governmental, and natural are all adjectives. The AL is an adjective morpheme, but for approval, that's the noun morpheme. So B is not good. Number C, hourly, friendly, costly. They are all adjective suffixes, right? Hourly is an adjective like an hourly rate, an hourly pay, like that. Friendly person, a friendly person, a costly thing, right, to buy. So li here is an adjective suffix, okay? And number C is correct. You might ask me, isn't ly an adjective suffix, an adverb suffix? Yes. In many cases, in a lot of cases, ly is an adverb suffix. But in these cases, 3 or 4, there's another word, dearly, in which ly is an adjective suffix. So C is correct. Number D, income. So to come in here is inside. Inhabit, to live in a place. Insane, not sane, right? So D is not correct because we have in, which means into, and then in, which means not. So only A and C, number 3, is correct. Okay, so far so good. Number 10, which of the following statements is or are true? Not all consonants are voiced. That's correct, right? Because we have voiceless consonants. So A is correct. You can cross out, you can rule out number 3 because you know that A is correct. And choice 3 doesn't have A, so you can cross that out. Number B, all vowels are syllabic, meaning that all vowels can constitute a syllable. Yes, right? And that's how we divide up syllables, right? We look at different vowels, right, in a word. So B is correct, okay? A and B. So the answer, the correct choice must have A and B, right? So choice 1 is not correct. So you have 2 and 4 left, okay? So if you can do one more, then you can get the correct answer. Number C, tongue height is used as a parameter for consonant classification. Wrong, right? Because we use tongue height for vowel classification. So C is not correct. So C cannot be in your answer. So 2 is out. Only 4 is correct. Okay? And upstairs is the process of conversion, right? Just from a preposition to a verb, ups the price. Okay? From preposition to a verb, not clipping, but conversion. Okay. Before we do the syllabification, let's quickly finish this up. Label each word in the following sentences according to the criteria studied in class. So we are standing at a major crossroads in terms of the history of global civilization. So let's see. On the exam, I will underline some words for you. So let's say that I underline standing. So let's see. Standing. Standing is a verb, right? Standing is a verb because the word stand is a verb. You can say I can stand, he can stand. And stand can have the S ending, which is singular. So stand is a verb. So label it as a verb like this. Then if I underline, let's see, if I underline, let's look at crossroads here. What is it? Is it a noun, an adjective, an adverb, or a verb? If I underline crossroad here, it's a noun, right? Because you remember it fits the pattern of determiner, adjective, and noun. here. Okay, so the word crossroad is a noun. So you put down a noun here. Okay. If I underline major, you should know, right? Major is an adjective because it fits the pattern of a, which is a determiner, adjective, and noun. Remember last time? So this is an adjective like this. Okay. If I underline history, you should know it's a noun too, right? Because we have a determiner and then history, which is a noun. And you can put it in that slot, an excellent history. Remember, you put in the slot an excellent blank, right? So history is a noun, like this. And then if I underline civilization, it's also a noun, right? In this case, you don't have a determiner, but you have an adjective global, and then the noun civilization. And also it ends in shun, right? Shun is the nominal suffix, so this is a noun, like this, okay? So for the last part, which is the syntax part, you should be able to do this pretty comfortably, okay? Using the diagnostic test that we studied last time, okay? Now let's do number E. Syllabify the English words swelling and accidents, okay? I'll do this on the board here, using the board here. So when we do syllable structure diagramming, we start from vowels, remember? We start from vowels because a vowel is the nucleus of a syllable, okay? So the first word is swelling, right? So we have swelling, we have swell, which is eh, right? And then la, and then I, and then in with a tail. So that's swelling, right? Everybody can read that. Swelling, right? Swelling. So the first step is we identify the nucleus, which is the vowel. So how many nuclei we have? We have one here. We have one here. Okay, that's the first step. Step 2, look to the left of the nucleus, right? Because we prefer to have an onset rather than the coda. So we have to look to the left of each. So look to the left of the I here, we have just one sound, which is good. So we have an onset here. Okay, so this is the onset. So we are done, right? Onset of this thing. Okay, so at least we have the syllable boundary like that. Now look to the left of the other nucleus. We have SW, which could be one cluster. So SW is the onset of this thing, of this first syllable. And then we are pretty much done, right? So whatever is left is the coda, like that. So for the first syllable, there's no coda. So that's the rhyme part. And this is the syllable part. The rhyme plus the onset is the syllable. For the second syllable, we have a coda. This is the rhyme part. And then that's the syllable. So swelling, right? Swelling, swelling, right? So try accidents, okay? Try accidents. I'll leave this on for maybe a minute in case you want to jot down the diagram. For the rest of you, try swelling, okay? I'm sorry, try accidents. So when we pronounce accidents, it's like accidents, like that, okay? So we have 3 syllables. This is the nucleus, this is the nucleus, This is the nucleus. The second step is to look to the left of the nucleus. We have one consonant, which is the onset, right? We have no problem when we have one onset. Now, here we have a problem because we have two sounds, K and S. Okay. So, can we take them to be the onset of the second syllable or not? Depending on the phonotactics constraint of English, right? Do we have KS to begin a word in English? No, right? We have SK, like to skip, like that. But KS, no, right? So KS is not a possible combination. So we have to separate them. So S could be the onset of that second syllable. But K has to be the coda because we have no other choices, right? So this is the coda, and then this makes up the rhyme, and there's no onset, so that's one syllable. The onset, and then this is the rhyme part. So this is a syllable. And the last syllable, we have three codas, right? Coda, and then rhyme, and then that's one syllable there. Okay. So accidents, okay? That's how people pronounce it. So first, identify the nucleus, and then look to the left and consider whether whatever you have is a possible sequence of sounds or not. If it is a possible sequence, then just take them as the onset. Okay? Okay, let's look at number F. So what you have to do here is to give me the result of phonological processes of assimilation, deletion, linking, and reduction of vowels. Okay, so we'll focus on the result. So we have in the first one assimilation, right, where two sounds are becoming more like each other. So raise your glass. Raise here is a Z sound, raise, and then you here, your is a glide sound. So when I'll erase this, okay. When we have a Z sound in raise, right? And then the next sound is a Y. Z plus Y becomes a fricative sound, right? Like this. So raise your glass, raise your glass. So raise your glass, like that. Like raise your glass, okay? So Z plus Y becomes that zh sound, raise your glass, like that. So in connected speech, in fast pronunciation, English-speaking people would tend to pronounce this as a zh sound. Raise your glass, like that. It's not raise your glass, but raise your glass, like that. Okay. On the other hand, if you have S, the voiceless version, plus a Y, it will become the voiceless version, which is a hook, right? And if you have a T plus a Y, a T as in don't, and then you, don't you, like this, don't plus you, T plus a Y, it will become a T hook, right? Like don't you dare, like that, don't you, instead of don't you, don't you. And then if you have the voice version of it, instead of a T, you have a D plus a Y, you get the voice version, which is D number 3. J, as in did ya, right? Did, and then you. So you have did ya, did ya. Did you eat yet? Like that. Eat yet? Did you eat yet? Like that. Right? Cheat yet? Cheat yet? So this is called assimilation, right? And this is common sense also. Because when you have a voice like Z, you have a voice version. You have a voiceless, you have a voiceless. You have a voiceless, you have voiceless version. You have a voice, you have a voice version. Okay. Now, deletion. When you have too many, when you have so many consonants in a row, to simplify our pronunciation, one consonant tends to get deleted, and it's the middle consonant, right? It's the middle consonant that tends to get deleted. Like he acts like, so act here has 3 sounds. If you look at it, we have a, k, t, and s. Acts, right? Acts. So we have k, t, and s. So the tendency is for the mid sound, for the central sound to be deleted. So instead of t, they delete the t. Okay? So we just say acts. He acts like. Instead of he acts like. He acts like. Okay? He didn't eat breakfast for months. So breakfast here, we have the last t is not pronounced. Breakfast, not breakfast from months, like that. So STF, right? We have STF, so the T will get deleted. So breakfast for months, right? Months, we have M, and then the TH and S, right? So month, like this. So we tend to delete the TH. So breakfast for months, like that. Okay, from months. Only the S. Okay. Again, when we have a complex consonant cluster, complex meaning maybe more than 2, okay? The middle consonant tends to get deleted, okay? Doesn't have to be in the same word, but here we have S, T, and F, so the T tends to get deleted. Because in fast speech, nobody would say, didn't eat breakfast for months, like that, okay? Didn't eat breakfast for months, like that. Okay. Linking, okay, linking, when 2 syllables or 2 words are all vowels, okay? 2 others, right? U and schwa, see us, e and schwa. So in this type of case, we tend to put in a glide, either the W or a Y, right? We have 2 glides in English, W or Y. So W and Y are consonants, right? So we put either W or Y to break the sequence of 2 vowels together. So 2 other, which one do we insert in there? W or Y? It depends on what you have as the preceding sound. If the preceding sound is a back sound, a back vowel, like U or O or O, you put in W, because W is U, is in the throat, it's back also. So 2 other, so we would say 2 other, right? 2 others, like this, 2 other, like this, right? So we put in the W in there, 2 others, 2 others, okay? 2 others, like that. But if the preceding sound is a front vowel, like C is E, right? C, E, front vowel, and then us, like this. Then it's a front vowel, you put in a Y. Y is ya, is a front sound also. So see us, like this. So we put in a Y sound, see us, like that. Didn't you see us? See us instead of see us. See us, like that. Okay. Last one, reduction of vowels to schwa. So non-important words, right? Unimportant words such as articles, a and the, they are not important. Prepositions are not important. Of, to, and of. Okay? All of these words will be reduced to schwa. Remember? Only important words like nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs will be stressed. So in this case, it's a waste of money to drink a cup of tea, like that. Okay. So if we write it out, all the unimportant words like, what is it? A waste of, right, of money to drink a cup of coffee, like this. Okay, so we have here, 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 and here. Okay, and sometimes in of, the V is also deleted, so you have only a schwa. Sometimes, a lot of times too. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of money. Rather than it's a waste of money. It's a waste of money to drink a cup of tea instead of coffee. Tea. Tea, right? Of tea. Cup of tea. Cup of tea. Right? So all important words like nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs will not be reduced to schwa. Now, last one for G. Write down the allomorphs to the past tense, plural, or possessive morpheme in the words below. We talked about this before, so we should be able to do this pretty quick. So number one, ages, right? So in this case, we have the is or us, schwa plus a C as the allomorph, okay? Ages, like this, or schwa, ages. Edges, right? Because the front sound here, the preceding sound is a sibilant sound, it's an affricate sound, so we have to put a vowel in there. Okay. Number two, flows. Flow, it ends with a vowel, right? O, flow. So it's a voice sound. So when you put in an S, you have to make it voiced as well because of the assimilation process. So we have a Z. Oops. A Z sound here. Okay. Flows. A Z sound. A C allomorph of the singular there. Next one, forks. K, the preceding sound. All have to do with the preceding sound. K, the preceding sound of S, is a voiceless sound, so you have a voiceless ending, which is S, not Z. Right? Forks, like that. Because K is a voiceless sound, okay? Now we have Chris does. Now Chris da, okay, is a vowel, right? All vowels are voiced. So S has to be voiced as well because of assimilation. So we have to have Chris does, right? Z instead of S. And then finally, the word deer. In English, words like deer, fish, salmon, trout, we don't add S. Even though it's plural, we use the same form. So there's no allomorph here. So we say it's zero. Zero plural allomorph, meaning you don't see or you don't hear, is zero. Okay, you don't hear or you don't see, but it's there. So when you say two deer are, right? Two deer are missing, like that. Without the S allomorph, okay, is zero. Zero meaning there's no vowel change, there's no S being added. Okay. So next week we'll come back here at around 3, right? And we'll do the midterm exam. Okay.